Oh, I love it when things work. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Weird to be back, I got to say. It's been a little while. We're here on the concourse, the Sarnia Sting warming up out there.
If you weren't traipsing all over the planet.
Well, I know. I'm a bit of a tramp that way.
How was Budapest?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Good? I bet,
yeah, it was so not enough time, but what an experience.
For sure.
And, I didn't wake up and go, like, vacation, right? I'd go to Mexico or Dominican or something like that, but I would never think to wake up and go, let's go to Budapest.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I only went for a business conference that turned into leisure as well, and going back. My only regret is I didn't have Jennifer with me, but
for sure.
We'll go back for sure. But and I know I missed. I did do a pregame show live from Budapest with Billy Yurchuk. Well, it was an attempt anyway.
Yeah.
The internet wasn't the greatest in my room, but we got through it.
It's all good.
And Billy's, you better watch out, man. He's doing a good job.
He's going after my job.
Well, he although I did.
Are you paying him just as much as you are paying me?
He said I'd expect double, and I said, hell, I'll pay a quadruple.
Absolutely, sure. Anything to get rid of that Peckham guy.
Right. So we've got Crunch Fitness here beside us. Look at it. He's got the toque.
Yes, sir.
And all that, and I got the T-shirt as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Outstanding.
I didn't have time to put it on, but that'll go in my good work. And that's a nice shirt too. That's not a cheap shirt.
No.
So Crunch Fitness here in town. In town.
Yep.
And they've been really pushing hard. This is the second time I've seen them here at the Sarnia Sting. We're going to get
Jack just joined today, so.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I know we've got lots to talk about with the Sarnia Sting, but before we get into that, now see, it's been so long. I can't even remember what I'm supposed to be doing here.
Uh-oh.
There we go. All right.
There you go.
It's an Heritage Indigenous Day here as well.
Oh, excellent.
And you got to see, there's going to be a special puck drop, but check this out. This is the logo for today. And I believe this is going to be on the jersey.
I love that logo, too, by the way.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's the Three Fires Confederacy Sarnia Sting logo.
So it's great, too. And the Sarnia Sting, right before O Canada, also now
always do
read the land acknowledgement here.
Absolutely.
An important part of our community for so many reasons, right?
For sure.
It's nice to see the Sarnia Sting recognizing that. It'll be a special puck drop here.
If you haven't attended one of the powwows in town when they do those, they're fantastic.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think
wonderful culture for sure.
Gentlemen, they're going to be doing the special puck drop. And then moving on from that, this is going to be the hardest working player of the game is going to be happening here today.
Sweet.
So we'll see. There'll be a presentation of that.
We still got a bunch of guys out.
I know, right?
I mean, a wholly decimated defense.
Well, let's jump right into let's get to it, right? I mean, let's talk about Kai Schwint there. He had some trouble the other night. I didn't see the game, but did you see what happened?
I did. I saw the game. I was watching on telly, and it was he took a pretty nasty hit in the corner, and somehow I think he came in contact with a skate or something along that line because he did get a pretty nasty cut to his wrist. They've got him listed right now as day by day, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I would imagine he's probably out today.
We'll see.
But we'll see what happens.
We're used to playing hurt this team the last couple seasons.
Well, but you know what? Yeah, we certainly far too used to it, unfortunately, which is, that's a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
And, Kai's been playing so well lately. He had a great game in Kitchener up until that point. And then between the fights and only dressing 5 defensemen and a bunch of other things, and then we got 3 fights, and we got some big penalties out of that, and we turned a 2-2 tie around the end of the first into a 7-2 loss against Kitchener. Right? Now, granted, Kitchener's near the top of the league, right?
Yeah.
And we're not.
We're not.
We're not. Yeah.
No.
So I sort of expected to see a challenging game. But man, that first period, I had so much hope. I was totally fanning out for that first period against Kitchener. I mean, we were even leading 2-1 at one point, and I was like, yeah, baby. Going back to those days where we play really well against the top teams in the league.
Yeah.
And then 3 fights and a bunch of things and injury, and all of a sudden we ended up with a 7-2 loss. So it was a bit unfortunate coming down the back end of that.
Preparing in for what's expected today. I mean, we talk about North Bay. There's some really interesting pieces here today.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, the fact that they're 3 in a row right now.
Yep.
So that could be advantageous for the Sarnia Sting. And the
3 in a row and 3 of our players.
Well, and there you go, right? We've got the Twins are here today.
Absolutely.
And Sandusville Manis.
The LeBlanc brothers and Sandus.
I imagine, I mean, I don't want to say it's all about entertainment, but I have a feel, the players do like to put on a good show for the fans as well while they're playing and accomplishing what they need to get done.
Yeah.
But so this, as of recent, them moving from Sarnia to North Bay, this is the first time they've been back
home
here in the home.
Absolutely.
So how much of a role does that play in today's game?
Well, you know what? I don't know. If you'd asked me 10, 15 years ago when I first started, or 20 years ago when I first started coming around here, I would have thought it meant a whole lot. Nowadays, I'm not so sure, but I can tell you that when players change teams, some things tend to happen. Sandus was having a reasonably good year with us. Yeah. Then he gets traded to North Bay.
A lot of people were upset when he was gone.
Absolutely.
Like, what do you mean he's gone?
Absolutely, because he was doing so well for us. Now he ends up in North Bay, and man, he's been playing the lights out. He really is doing the job up there. And I don't know if that's just. You put him in a different mix, and maybe there's something that he needs, and you get a couple of players that maybe he really gelled with some.
Well, we saw that with Mestikov going to
Absolutely.
the Guelph Storm. It was like we
was
kept
night
saying,
and
like, I kept hearing around the media room, like, just hold on, he's gonna give him time. He's coming, and it just never showed up here.
Yep.
And then he goes to Guelph, and it was like
a different story.
Boom, right?
And
definitely
we have a history of doing that with
goaltenders
as well. We've had a bunch of backup to goaltenders that ended up getting traded to somewhere else and in favor of a young guy or whatever, and they turn around and all of a sudden they're playing the lights out. And
I know it's not necessarily anything against the former team.
No.
It's just we all have different personalities.
And it's a different mix, and a different feeling, and a different
all that.
Absolutely.
Maybe different coaching style.
Absolutely,
whatever,
100%.
Right? So,
you never know, right?
So I suspect we'll see some of that here with
I
with
would
the
expect
brothers.
as well, yeah.
It's always interesting me to see that as well, as I know the fans do, because when you're on a team, it's like living in living in my house and then living in your house.
Absolutely.
I come to your house and
Different
stay
rules,
there for a week,
different
different
systems.
rules, different routines
Absolutely.
in the morning and all that, and it's like totally different, and that can change what happens out on the ice. But
night and day,
the fact, if I lived with you for a year and I get used to those things, then I go to another home
and I come back.
I come back and I go, I know what goes on in your house.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a leg up on the rest of them.
So
right?
how much of that comes into play, and does the coach, I wonder, go to the team and say, okay, you know what these guys are like, and this is how,
I have to say, here's the thing for me in terms of just, knowing the Sting, or at least, thinking I know the Sting the way I do.
Oh, absolutely.
It's one of those things where, these guys, sure, it's that young team argument again. Right. You know what I mean? Where you've got a team, they're not quite at the point where they've got the systems locked down necessarily, because we're not seeing. They're still working on developing those systems. So in some cases, they're still new. There's tweaks being made all the time, and all that sort of stuff. So our guys, so can you really say that, you go away, then come back and go, I know what your systems are. Well, hang on a minute. I think there's still that element of surprise, and I think that on any given day,
there has to be.
On any given day, I think any team can unlock the secrets of another team, and I think it's a day-to-day thing. I really do.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just know how to light up a goalie.
Well,
and other days you just can't figure them out.
And again, it's one of those things where the coach. The coach isn't stupid either.
No, absolutely no.
He's
The
gotta
team,
go, okay.
the coaching team, absolutely.
A lot of strategy going on there.
Well, and these guys all have some history with other teams and stuff, right?
And
so.
we talk about the players a lot, and I know we've been giving more credit to the coaches in the sense of their philosophies and their coaching style. But here's something we don't really talk about. I was thinking about this the other day. How these coaches know each other as well. Like Coach Letang and Hunter, they know each other really well.
Absolutely.
So you're also kind of looking at not just the style of a player, but the style of the coaching staff.
Absolutely.
Right?
You know, I mean, because you can look at the coach and you sort of know what kind of hockey that coach is going to bring to the team.
Well, that's the Hunter hockey. I mean?
We talk about Hunter
right?
hockey, absolutely. I've talked about it many times. And it's one of those things where you know what Hunter hockey looks like.
Yep.
You know, it's a little more aggressive. It's a little more in your face. It's a little more poke the bear. It's a little more of those kinds of things. And we know the other teams that typically will bring that kind of style because of the coaching. And that's, that's one of those influences on the team for sure is the coaching.
The difference today, I think, with a lot of with everything we're talking about, the difference today is, you go, okay, so like North Bay's already clinched.
Yep.
So then, I've heard a few people, and I was talking to some guys that really rely on, like Mark Coyne, who's one of the stats guys here, and speaking of stats, don't let me forget to talk about some attendance records.
Yep.
But, and it's kind of like, okay, so North Bay really has nothing to lose today.
No.
However, just because you're clinched, they're looking at positioning themselves in the playoffs in a certain seed, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
And they've got that momentum going right now with that 3 in a row. You wouldn't want to hold back, right? Somebody said, "Oh, well, they can hold back. They're fine." No. You still come out here to win. You still come to play, and while you have nothing to really lose against the Sarnia Sting, you do still look for that positioning getting into the playoffs.
And you know what? In some cases, the closer you get to the playoffs, the more you want to start ramping your team up for that playoff level of hockey. Because
Al Letang has said that. We got to start playing playoff hockey now.
It really does go up a notch, when you get to playoffs. So, leading up to that, you don't want to become complacent, and you don't want to take the throttle off, and you don't want to do any of those things. I think
easy to do, though.
It is very easy to do.
We're a mixed up product. We humans.
Well, absolutely.
And we can say don't get complacent, but we do.
Well,
we can say play 60 minutes of hockey,
absolutely,
but we don't.
And one of the things I've honestly learned from you, Dave, is in a lot of cases it's all about mindset. And that's a day-to-day thing. That's get up in the morning. The skills are there, but it depends on what your mindset is. You wake up in the morning and you're jumping for your coffee and you're ready to take on the day. That's a different thing. But if you don't plant your feet and you're just sitting there, what have I got going on today? What do I care about? You know what? You're going to play that way, and I think that the mindset's a lot of things, and it can change hour by hour, honestly.
And right?
Yeah.
And in the mindset of a 16 to 19-year-old is a completely different
sure.
They're still growing.
Sure.
Never mind as a player, just as a people, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And we've said it before, I'll repeat myself, but go to school, get good grades, go to practice, travel on a bus, play the game, participate in the community, away from home. And by the way, I'd like to be a teenager.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I still want to be a teenager. Some days I still am.
Well, I can. 100%, brother. I hear you there, man. But I can tell you, though, Cooper Way had a really good breakfast this morning.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where'd you see him?
I was sitting having breakfast with my buddy from out of town this morning at John's restaurant.
Oh, okay,
and
nice.
Cooper came in and had a good breakfast. So
Right.
yeah,
Cool. So
he didn't know I was spying on him.
So
or
no
anything
excuses,
like that.
Cooper. You had
no
a good
excuses.
breakfast.
You had a
at
good
John's
breakfast.
restaurant.
There we go.
You know, something we don't talk about, and this kind of leads into a Crunch Fitness. Once again, he's looking.
Yeah,
He's got the
there
two.
you go.
And I can't wait to put this shirt. I can't wear it today. That would look silly on my.
I don't know if I've ever seen you in something that doesn't require a tie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, where have you been? You ever seen me on my motorcycle? Come
Well,
on.
no, true enough.
That's
true
enough.
enough.
Right. I'll get
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the whole leather chaps.
There you
going
go.
This year with the little.
Well,
anyway,
I won't
never
loan you
mind.
mine.
I
They
won't
never
go there.
fit you.
It's okay. But something we don't talk about, Crunch Fitness leads into this, is the health side of things for these players.
Sure.
You've got your skills, you've got your accuracy drills, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
But then there's a health side to this, eating properly and
absolutely.
working out.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I've had this conversation at different levels with different people about how, well, I think I talked to you about that conference I was at. It's like, nobody likes going to the gym
No.
all the time.
No, fair enough.
But champions get up and do it anyway.
Absolutely.
And that's a part of what every team here in this OHL is not like it's just so strict.
Yep.
Of what must be done. If you don't, another one of those things on top of everything else I listed. If you don't do this, you're not on the team.
One of my best friends used to be the strength and conditioning coach for the Sting.
Yeah.
And I talked to him a lot, and and one of the things he said to me was that, you know, he always knew who was going to be the superstar.
Right.
You know, because they're required to do a bunch of, you know, conditioning and training and stuff like that as hockey players for this team. And, you know, there are some people who commit to that, and they're, you know, full throttle at it. You know those guys are going to go far. And then there are other guys that are shirking it, just kind of doing the bare minimum or whatever, and you just knew that there was, you know, they weren't going to make it as far.
Well, if I, it's like coming to school and saying, so if I get a 50, I pass, right? That's
exactly.
No. You need to do
if you're an
more
athlete,
than everybody
man,
else.
Absolutely.
Well, I've always said, like, if everybody, you know, give it your 100%, right?
Yep.
If everybody's given 100%, you're the same as everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've got to give that a little extra more just to get that, even if it's 1% to get that edge.
Yep.
And it's a lot of the things that these young fellas do in this OHL that we don't see that are making them grow into the superstars that we wish for all of them. But even them know that the statistics are, like, they're not all going to get to the NHL.
I
right?
hear you, brother.
Wow. So we'll see what happens. We're about 9 minutes away now from the Sarnia Sting coming up to take on North Bay. It's going to be first period's, I think, really going to tell the tale here
Well, let's
today.
hope we had a first period like we did in Kitchener, you know, where we come out playing hard. And
Nick Strzeziczka going to start for us here tonight as well. So.
Well, let's hope he doesn't see 48 shots on goal again from guys like Carson Rakoff.
You know what's funny, though, is like, see, the goaltenders,
oh my goodness,
they like 48 shots on them because it looks good on the stats, but it doesn't go, no. The coach doesn't
anybody
like to see that.
facing 48 shots is going to let a couple in. That's all there is to it.
Right.
You know, that's why we have a defense or try to have a defense.
I got to go over this before I forget.
Okay.
I got to get my Googles on because Steve, one of our stats guys here, he's been doing it forever.
Okay. The stats, attendance stats.
34 games last season.
Yeah.
We had 115,131.
Yeah.
29 games this season so far, 115,620.
Wow.
Our highest this year was 4,533, and the second highest was 4,509. The lowest in attendance, 3,250 and 3,404. So if we hit 4,000 here today, it's some kind of a record.
Yeah, we've done 4,500, probably pretty close for the last few games. So you know,
that really speaks volume to what the fans.
I think we're in like 6th place in the CHL right now for
and when you compare to somebody
attendance.
like London,
I know, but they got 10,000.
That's what
they
I mean.
Fit 10,000 people in that arena.
That's what I mean.
You know?
So.
And
we'll
we're
see
6th.
We'll see what the attendance is.
Yep.
My buddy Steve will have it for me later. Thanks
Perfect.
again, Crunch Fitness. We're going to cover up this whole screen.
There you go.
And we'll be back Who's coming? I think Billy's doing first period.
I think Billy's doing first
and then
period.
Connor Burke will be here. Lee's away and gone to Disneyland.
Good luck with him taking my job.
Oh, well, I don't know, man. We'll see.
I've been doing this for a while. Uh-oh.
A little bit of jealousy.
Okay, whatever. I bet you I could take him in a race.
Well, you probably could. All right. So Billy will be back, and then, of course, we'll have post-game press conference. You never know what's going to happen there, so make sure you're watching around. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, this was a long one. Geez, you talk a lot.
What?
I don't know.
We're just catching up after
All
a
right,
while.
that's it for us. We'll be back with Billy Urchuk. Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, live for the concourse with the Sarnia Sting. I'm David Burrows, and my friend, Jay Peckham.
Go Sting, go!